Hey, hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Chastity. Here we talk about beauty, entertainment, celebrities, books, movies, anime, TV shows, and kind of anything else that garners my attention this week. Happy Valentine's Day, and we're going to celebrate Valentine's Day this year by reviewing Netflix's Love and Leashes. So, Love and Leashes is a Netflix original Korean movie. I've never heard so good for two co-workers who enter a contractual relationship as partners in consensual play, pleasure, and pain. BDSM. This movie is about BDSM, girl. And listen, I remember scrolling through Twitter and seeing like the little ad for it. Side note, I don't know why I thought Love and Leashes was supposed to be a series and not a movie. I don't know where I missed that, but it's a movie, not a show. But I remember I saw like the ad of her like tying him up with like the bow, and I was just really interested in like how Korea would tackle the topic of BDSM. And also there is a webtoon that this movie is based on, and I did read that for this video just to compare and contrast which one I liked more. Spoiler alert, I liked the movie more in a lot of places. But yeah, we're just gonna review this show because it's Valentine's Day, and I really didn't want to do a cheesy video, but I was like, you know what would be fun to talk about on Valentine's Day? BDSM. Love and Leashes is starring Seungyeon from Girls' Generation and Lee Jun-young from U-Kiss. And there was actually a lot of controversy surrounding this casting because both stars are K-pop idols, and people just were like, they didn't like the idea of people who were idols in a movie about BDSM. I'm not gonna hold you. Once I realized it was Seungyeon, I kind of lost my shit because I was like, one, I'm proud of her, booked and busy, but it was just like, my good sis in a BDSM movie. And Lee Jun Young, I don't really know him as well. I've like his face is very like recognizable, but like I don't think I listened to, was it You Kiss? Yeah. I didn't really listen to You Kiss, so I really like, I've seen his face because he was also on like a survival show, but like this is my first time like really like seeing something that he's been in. I really enjoyed this movie. I found it very cute and endearing and like really awkward in some places, which probably isn't like what you would normally describe a movie about BDSM. But I just feel like out of all of the media that has been created surrounding BDSM since like 50 Shades of Grey, I feel like Love and Leashes is probably the most informative ish, like for beginners and people who maybe have no frame of reference to BDSM. And also just like the couple in their relationship and what goes on with them is the least toxic I've seen in any of these movies. Like usually these movies make me like super uncomfortable, and I feel like the main dude is super creepy, but this one is different in the way they display the relationship. Also, in this situation, the female is dom instead of the male. Our main dude is the sub, and I think maybe that also reflects in the movie because like I was researching, majority of the people behind the camera were also women, which I think also plays into how their BDSM, how BDSM was portrayed in the movie. Our main characters are Jiwoo and Jiho. Jiho gets transferred to the PR department, and the PR department is where Jiwoo works. We are introduced to Jiho and Jiwoo at their job. We see Jiwoo coming into the building, talking about the power dynamics in normal relationships and in BDSM relationships. And in that, we do see her see Jiho for the first time. We learn like off the bat that like Jiwoo is attracted to Jiho. She thinks he's attractive, thinks he's very smart, and Jiho is Mr. Popular. Every girl in their, oh sorry, every woman in their office has a crush on him seemingly. Asking him if he wants another coffee. Do you want to hang out after work? Stuff like that. Like the girls are surrounding him. So working together now. Jiwoo and Jiho's boss, as the person above them, is a total misogynist, and he particularly picks on Jiwoo But from the moment that Jiho gets there, he's on Jiwoo protection squad, and he does that thing that like people of like privilege can do, where they can like, you know, give it back to the racist, to the misogynist, the sexist, whoever, because they're in the same position of power as them, so they're able to like checkmate them. Like from the beginning, we know that he's here to defend Jiwoo. You can just tell that there is like a little spark happening between them. We have different moments of them interacting at like their job, and it's cute. They don't really know how to like exist together, and it's just really cute to watch. So the scene that kind of sets the whole wheels and moving for the whole movie, in context of the movie, makes absolutely no sense, but in the webtoon it makes perfectly good sense, but still a dumb decision. So Jiho gets a package delivered to his job, and in the package is a collar and a leash that is definitely not for a dog, okay? Is not for a dog. Now, in the movie, we don't ever see anyone else in Jiho's home. We don't see that he's living with another person. So it does not make any sense in the movie for him to get that type of package to be sent to his job. Versus in the webtoon, he lives with his parents. So is it a dumb decision? Yes, but at least it makes more sense, because in the movie it's like when we actually do go to his home, he's seemingly living by himself. Why are we getting BDSM stuff sent to our job outside of like plot device, right? To be like to get the whole wheels in motion, but like it doesn't make any sense. He lives alone. Get your collar sent to your house. Jiwoo actually accidentally gets the package because her name and Jiho's name are so similar. So the package is given to her. He gets to work. He finds out Shorty done got his collar, and he is rushing up these stairs to try to stop her before she gets a chance to open it. Unfortunately, Jiwoo has opened it. Now, at first, he tries to play it off like it is, in fact, a dog collar. And she's like, oh, you have a dog? And he was like, yeah, a poodle. And she looked at the collar, and sis is like, I know what a poodle looks like. Poodle is not the size of a human. And she's like, this collar is too big for a poodle. And he's like, oh nah, my poodle got beefy neck. Like, okay. And then a coupon for the adult site that he got the collar from falls onto the floor, and he like tries to hide it, and she's like, you gonna throw out a coupon? And he like, oh, what good eyes you have. And now this is kind of how everything is set up. After this whole situation, Jiho is realizing that he's not really hearing any rumors about him at work. It's something like this in an office building, which is the hottest tea on the block, right? So he's noticing that like Jiwoo is not talking about this, and for two different reasons. One, because she really has no idea about like BDSM and that type of stuff, so she just kind of believed him on the dog front. And two, that's not her business. This does not have anything to do with Jiwoo, so why would she talk about it? She's not a gossiper. But Jiho is extremely touched by this, and after he gets injured at work and she takes him to the hospital, he kind of pulls her aside and one, thanks her for not spreading any rumors, and also apologizing for her to her seeing that. Now, this is where the misunderstanding happens, where somehow Jiho is led to believe that Jiwoo is also into BDSM and like S&M and things like that, and he asks to be her pet. You know, it's very strange, very weird. And Jiwoo's like, oh, you thought I was like, you know, I meant like I'm a little bitchy at work sometimes. And she tells him that I would like to not be your master. You don't need to be my pet. You don't gotta apologize for nothing. I'm gonna see y'all later. But because Jiwoo is who she is kind of curious about this. And she does like some light research. And I think there's about one or two more times that Jiho asks her to be his master. And she's like, no. But she's thinking. She's saying no, but in her head she has some questions. And we kind of boils over to this point at work where she brings a mask with her and she just kind of like tests out what like being a dom is like, and after that she agrees to be in a to this type of relationship with him, who has really no frame of reference when it comes to dom and sub relationships and BDSM as a whole. So we get these really great moments throughout the entire movie of her doing her research on dom sub relationships and BDSM, and I really enjoy that because you can tell that like Jiwoo is taking this very, very serious. Like, she wants to make sure that she is making Jiho as happy as possible. And to make him happy, she knows she has to be a good dom. And it was just nice to see that. It's just really helped cement what type of person Jiwoo was. The very first like play they did was hilarious and awkward and so uncomfortable to watch. So they go to this hotel and they bring like the collar and the leash with them, and they're gonna do like a play where he's gonna be a dog. And I think like it starts off like okay, as normal as this can get. And she has like a hand of like, I'd assume they're not actual dog food. I hope we're not giving him dog food. And like she made him like eat it out the palm of her hand. And then he just started like barking like a dog and started like running around the room. And when he was hearing noises from like other people's room, he was barking to the point where like the manager had come down to the room like, do you have a dog in here? Like you can't do that here. And it is quite honestly the most uncomfortable thing I have witnessed all year. It was so cringy. It was so bad. But even though it was horrible to witness Naya to soon be in, Jiwoo and Jiho decide like they're just gonna like work out the kinks in this, but they're gonna keep trying. So the scenes that are about their play are not graphic at all. Remember that this is a K-drama, it's Korean, so like they can't do a 50 Shades of Grey, but all of those scenes involving play for the most part are usually done over clothes. Again, like I didn't find this movie like sexy at all, but I still enjoyed it. But like the parts where like I probably should have been like, ooh, this is so like steamy, I was kind of like either like in awe of their synergy or just like giggling for how like uncomfortable this all seems to be. Just slightly, because it's like you're acting. So like that's where I was, but I was never like, ooh, this is so scandalous. Jiwoo is falling deeper and deeper in love with Jiho, and Jiwoo's also very much so adamant on being a good dom for him. And like I mentioned, it's doing the research and very much so caring about his feelings and like doing very special things for him. And you can just tell that like she's gone off this boy, and like again she's also like discovering herself as a woman, as a dom. So there's that happening, and it's their relationship I think is like very sweet. I do think they have chemistry. I know I saw some people say they didn't think they did. I thought they did. I thought you could tell that they really liked each other. Didn't like about this movie, one is the fact that they really try to push this narrative that like if you're in a dom and sub relationship, that can't turn into something romantic, which I feel like is not true at all. And I feel like there are plenty of examples of people who are in relationships and also do exist in the dom and sub spaces. So I don't really, that was a weird thing that like they try to push. Also, like there is like this weird like B plot with like his ex-girlfriend that doesn't really matter in the long run, versus like in the webtoon she plays a much bigger role in that whole situation has a beginning and a resolution. There really is no resolution with him and his ex-girlfriend. She just kind of pops up for drama's sake and then disappears. I don't like the fact that the movie ended the way it did. Like, I liked the movie up until the ending. The ending felt very rushed. It felt like, oh, we have to do something to conclude all of this. Let's have this little carrot pen that's also a recorder and have that recording get leaked, and now they have to talk to their bosses and they come out. It it felt very clunky, very, oh wow, we need to wrap this up. And it's not like this is like a short movie. This movie is almost 2 hours long, so I don't really understand why it was so hard to like make a less clunky conclusion. Um yeah, it just, the movie was good up until then, and I think maybe it could have benefited from being a series than being a movie, just because there was just stuff that was sacrificed that I feel like were actually important to the story. But again, I do still like the movie more than the webtoon, just because the webtoon doesn't, I don't feel like we get enough of with the BDSM relationship in the webtoon. Like, it takes about like 50 chapters to even like get the dog scene. Um that's another thing. Like, in the webtoon, she spends a lot of time like referring to him as a dog, so that it makes the dog scene even make more sense. It doesn't have that same weight in the movie. But again, I still like the movie more, and it's so weird. I very rarely like the movie or show more than like the source material, but there's just some stuff done better. And I believe their relationship more in the movie than I did in the webtoon. I just feel like in the movie, it just does a much better job representing sub and dom relationships than the webtoon. I feel like we really get into it and we get into more play, and it just, again, it's not perfect, but it feels more accurate than the webtoon. And I really do feel like we get to see their relationship in a much healthier light than the webtoon, because that relationship's kind of but this relationship does seem fairly healthy, and there is a lot of communication. There's misunderstandings, but they're still talking to each other. And I do feel like in the genre of movies about BDSM, that is severely lacking. I believe that Love and Leashes is like good PR for the BDSM community. I don't think it's extremely accurate, but out of all of the depictions we've gotten, again, Love and Leashes shows the most healthy and non-toxic relationship. There doesn't feel like there's an actual power imbalance in the relationship itself versus when play is happening. Unlike other, again, movies about this topic that, again, feel extremely creepy and rapey and gross, and they make my skin crawl. Like, Love and Leashes, it has the humor. It has the not sexy for me scenes, but maybe somebody who's a little more like blushing would be like, oh, these are really spicy. It's a really great way to introduce somebody to the world of BDSM and keep it in its roots still a consensual relationship, where that's where a lot of these other movies fall short. The relationships do not feel consensual, and there always feels like it's just dubious consent. Like, yeah, I've consented, but not really. And with 50 Shades of Grey, there has been so much media created, even in fandom culture, that is seeped in BDSM culture, except not done right. And again, the lacking of consent and feeling like it's a healthy relationship. So like in the sea of all of that, and in like other webtoons that again are not supposed to be about BDSM, but like play into it and have these again super unhealthy relationships. So in the sea of all of that, Love and Leashes is very refreshing to have. Again, BDSM is not this perverted evil thing, and it feels like that through a lot of this media. And then there's like Love and Leashes, where it's just seems like another type of couple. I really did like this movie. Again, I knew it wasn't gonna be too crazy because it is a K-drama, but I do feel like this is a step in the right direction. And again, a positive and healthy relationship involving BDSM I think is important to have. And again, it surprises me that like Korea was the first one to give us this type of movie. I think Love and Leashes is adorable. I think it's sweet. It's a fun time. Again, I didn't find the sexy scenes too sexy, but I still enjoyed it regardless. I definitely would say give the webtoon a shot. It's not my favorite webtoon. I'm not even gonna hold you. But I did read all of it. But I did read all of it, and if I don't like something, I'm not gonna finish it. But I actually did enjoy the webtoon. The movie, in my opinion, is just a little bit better. I'm sorry, there's just some stuff. I think because it feels less drawn out than the webtoon, even though it is almost 2 hours long, it doesn't feel that long. So maybe there's that. Like the webtoon feels very long and very daunting, but the movie feels very quick. But yeah, that's it for me. If you watched Love and Leashes, what did you think about the movie? Do you think it's good representation for dom and sub relationships? Do you think it's bad? What do you wish they did? What do you wish they changed? But yeah, that's it for me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next one. And have a lovely Valentine's Day. Bye, guys.